Good morning, it's Harvey Jackson. Just going to go through, there's not a whole lot of news items, but I thought maybe I'll touch on the charts a little wee bit. Good Friday, with that extra day, tariffs could be a little bit more volatile over the weekend, but let's just have a look at it here. TSX futures rise as the U.S. and Japan are coming to the table and having trade talks over their tariffs, and that's actually helping the other countries that are part of the U.S. dollar index because they're safe haven places to put their money besides the U.S. So Fed Jerome Powell during a press conference yesterday, he mentioned that the inflation is likely to cost the U.S. on the short term, and I think it was a little bit greater than they expected. You can see here that the market sank with Powell's trade war reality check, and yet, I'm sure the market already knew it, but just needed an official to say it because the other officials, which would be part of the Trump team, are saying that it's not affecting it, but they want to create some calmness to the market. But every time somebody gets in front of the mic, there's some volatility, it seems, these days. Um, Here's just a little bit of a weather map. I've got a few weather maps here. You can see here, you got snow over here, and then you've got uh, some cold weather that's going to come across here. You're going to see that in this here, if I can make this play. Maybe not, but there's basically a cold band that gets moved across. Oh, there it is. Yeah, so you can see this cold band moving across, and the heat is kind of isolated over there. Now, is it going to affect any crops that are growing? It's hard to say. So that's just a look at the 10-day where you can see the weather, whether it's actually going to the cold or the temperature anomalies. So you can see where we are, it's going to be a little bit colder, but looks like Europe is in good growing conditions, and you got harvest and everything going on in South America. Here's your precipitation. Nothing really alarming, I don't think, out of there. We will be watching the weather going forward in the U.S. As it becomes more and more critical. So as I took this snapshot, canola was down, but I don't know if, and I pointed out to a couple of clients that I've seen, the last 2 weeks, the canola market trades lower at night and seems to recover during the day. And I think some of that is in part because the European rapeseed squeeze that seems to be going on the front month, because you can see there's a big difference between the front and the back month here. And we have that kind of stark differences showing up here as well, like 678 versus 652. No, that doesn't seem like a big pile, but it's enough. So here's your July contract, and you can see, this area here is definitely going to be resistance for, or hey, if you're pricing off July now and you've got contracts rolled, I would be, leaning on growers to look at pricing at that range. We're just getting into that range there now. We're still expecting to get to 700 or a little bit better, but hey, that's the technical. The fundamental, when I just look at this chart, the technical on this chart itself is to price a little bit of grain, take some risk off. You can see that on the new crop as well. We're not quite into that range, so you probably have to move another, let's call it $15 before you're really into that range. This European rapeseed, this is the squeeze I'm talking about. You see this market actually is actually making new highs on the May contract, and that May contract is going to expire in a couple of weeks. So there's something going on here, and obviously it's a squeeze on supply as well. They had a short crop. They're trying to pull as much as they can before that other crop comes in. So you can see here, this is a result is you're getting $184 differential of European rapeseed priced in Canadian dollars, and ideally you only need probably anywhere from $100 to $80 is probably well supplied in both Canada and the Europe. So here we are looking at the soybean oil futures. Same thing. We're trying to get back to some of these values that we were at before, and when we're in that range, unless we blow through it. And that's possible, but blowing through it would actually be very supportive for the rest of the oil seeds as well. So here's your soybean futures. Expect a pullback when we get a little bit higher here. So this is the trade strategy that Kyle put out. So we're long, and then we're going to go short here as well, right? On a reversal. Crude palm oil futures. It keeps on trading lower, looking for a place where they're going to find some demand. So you got European rapeseed rallying on the front month, canola's rallying, and the palm oil is falling apart. So here's crude oil, and we're starting to try to break out of this like a pendant on the bottom here, for this consolidation. Looks like we're trying to break out of there, and that's probably because of some positive movement on tariff talks. Now, still nothing positive on the Chinese side yet, but Canadian dollar seems to be consolidating here. Probably expect it to move back down to that range, especially if U.S. can be friends and gain some favor with other countries here. Here's your spring wheat futures off of May. Uh, not really gaining a whole pile of steam. Look to try to get a little bit higher as we move into spring. Seasonally, it does. So here's just a snapshot of the new spring wheat contract. So it's KN, where the Kansas is KE, and that's only on bar chart that I can find it. And on the CBOT itself, but I can't find it on another platform like the TradingView platform. So volume is next to nothing as I expected, but we'll see if this gains some strength here. Here's your Kansas, basically just trading sideways still. Needs to break out of that kind of sideways channel there. Chicago's actually looks like it's got more of a trend upward than Kansas. Here's your Matif, and it keeps on breaking lower. It's obviously suggesting that there's a pretty good crop in Europe. But when I look at what happened last year, it did rally. We're here somewhere right now. It did rally higher into the spring, and so did the wheats in the North America class as well. So maybe it needs to find a bottom before it finds a top here. Here's your corn, kind of stalled out this week. Your feeder cattle, August feeder cattle contract. If anybody's still short there, we definitely want to get out because we're actually right at the entry point. Looks like we're actually going to keep gaining here again. So if you're playing that market, you want to maybe exit and sit on your hands until we break out higher. And that's all I have for you today.